My fiancée said, "My friends hate you because you're too nice. I need a break. To date a bad boy." I simply said, "Okay, I'll be bad." Then I canceled the venue, the caterer, and the honeymoon without telling her. Her panic call 2 days before the wedding she thought was still on. And I'm posting this here because it still feels unreal how quietly a whole future can evaporate when you finally stop arguing with someone about who you are and start listening to what they're telling you about how little they value it. So here it is, all of it, from the beginning, because writing it out feels like closing a door gently instead of slamming it. And that matters to me. I proposed to Lauren Miller after 4 years together, for very ordinary years in the best possible way. Movie nights, grocery lists on the fridge, splitting utilities down the middle, Sunday mornings with bad coffee and better conversation. She said yes without hesitation, cried, hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe, told everyone she'd waited her whole life for stability, which I believed because she said like someone who meant it. We set the date for September 21st, 11 months out, enough time to plan without losing our minds. And early on she said something that should have been my first clue but felt harmless at the time. "I hate planning. It stresses me out. You're good at details. Can you just handle it?" And I said sure, because I'm good at details. I'm an operations analyst for a regional logistics company. I make about $62,000 a year, drive a paid-off Honda Accord, max out my retirement match. I don't gamble. I don't chase trends. I don't panic under pressure. And Lauren worked as a marketing coordinator, making about the same, creative, energetic, very online. We were balanced, or so I thought, until she changed jobs and met her new friends, the ones who would later decide I was a problem. She started at a boutique branding agency downtown, exposed brick walls, cold brew on tap, brainstorm rooms with neon signs, the kind of place that calls meetings ideation jams. And her co-workers were a tight little circle of loud opinions and curated chaos: Madison, Chloe, and Paige, women who spoke in declarations, not questions. Madison was 33, perpetually engaged but never married, always outgrowing men. Chloe was 29, recently divorced, wore her bitterness like a badge of honor. Paige was 26 and documented every emotional swing on Instagram stories with dramatic captions and crying selfies. They took Lauren under their wing fast. Happy hours turned into weekend trips. Weekend trips turned into philosophy, and philosophy turned into criticism aimed squarely at me. It started small, suggestions disguised as jokes. Madison says our venue is kind of corporate, or Chloe thinks your suit should be more daring, or Paige says September weddings are boring unless you do something wild. And I'd laugh it off because opinions are cheap and deposits are not. We had already booked a venue, a renovated Riverside Mill, $8,200 all in. I paid the $3,500 deposit myself. The caterer was $5,100 for 120 guests. We split that deposit evenly. Photographer was $3,200 paid by her parents. DJ $1,400 paid by me. Flowers $2,400 split. Honeymoon $7,800 for Portugal and Spain paid by me because I had the points and the savings, and because I wanted to non-refundable but insured because that's how my brain works. Total budget just under $30,000. Reasonable, responsible, aligned with our income. But Lauren's new friends didn't see responsibility as a virtue. They saw it as a lack of imagination, and slowly Lauren started repeating their words without attribution, like they were her own ideas forming naturally. "Don't you think you play it too safe? Do you ever want more? Sometimes I wish you had more edge." Edge became the word, this vague, undefined quality that apparently meant chaos plus confidence minus consequences. And I tried to talk to her about it, asked what she wanted that she wasn't getting, asked how we could add excitement without blowing up our lives. But those conversations ended the same way, with her scrolling on her phone while I spoke, nodding without listening, telling me I was overthinking, until one Tuesday night over takeout Thai food, she finally said the quiet part out loud. "My friends hate you." She said it casually, like mentioning the weather, and I laughed because it sounded ridiculous, until she added, "They think you're too nice, too predictable. They don't get why I'm settling. That word landed hard. I asked her what she thought, not what they thought, and she hesitated long. Enough to answer honestly, "I don't know anymore." She said, and that's when the ground shifted because uncertainty 2 months before a wedding is not a phase. It's a verdict waiting to be read. I asked her directly if she wanted to marry me, and she said, I think I need a break. I remember the calm that followed, the strange clarity, the absence of fear. She explained she needed to experience something different, date someone exciting, a bad boy, just to know, just to be sure. A few weeks, no big deal. We'd still get married. She said it like she was asking to borrow a sweater, and I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I'd already lost her, not to another man, but to an idea planted by people who would never bear the cost of it. So I said, okay, and she blinked, surprised, relieved. She asked what I meant, and I said, okay, take your break, then added, I'll be bad, which confused her, but confusion is comfortable when you think you're winning. She packed a bag and went to stay with Madison that night. Kissed me on the cheek like we were co-workers, promised a text, and the next morning I woke up alone and started making calls, not out of spite, not in anger, but because it made no sense to keep building a house for someone who had asked to go shopping for other addresses. I called the venue first, confirmed our cancellation window, forfeited my deposit, thanked them, then the caterer, same thing, then the DJ, no refund, fine, and the florist, partial refund for. My half only after sending proof of payment, which I did, then the honeymoon insurance company, who required documentation, which I had, because I keep folders, because I plan, because that's who I am, and within 2 weeks most of my money was back minus deductibles and sunk costs. I kept a spreadsheet because numbers tell the truth without emotion. Total loss on my end came out to just under $500 after refunds, insurance, and credits. Lauren's losses were higher, but that wasn't my calculation. I didn't tell her any of this. Not because I was hiding, but because she didn't ask. And because when someone asks for space, you give them space, including from information they assume will always be there waiting. During her break, she posted pictures with a guy named Ryan, leather jacket, motorcycle, self-employed in a way that means unemployed, lots of captions about living in the moment. Her friends commented fire emojis and affirmations. And I went on with my life. Fixed a leak in the bathroom, repainted the living room, cooked meals I liked, slept well. My friend Mark asked if I was okay, and I said yes and meant it, because peace is loud when chaos leaves. About 6 weeks later, Lauren texted, said she missed me, said the bad boy thing wasn't what she thought, said she wanted to come home. And I said okay, because I wasn't interested in revenge. I was interested in truth. She moved back in, talked about how dating someone unstable had shown her what she really valued, how I was safe in a good way, how her friends were dramatic, and I listened without interrupting. She asked about wedding details, said it was coming up fast, and I said I'd handled things, which was true. 2 days before the wedding, she called me from work, frantic, voice shaking, said the venue told her we didn't have a reservation, asked what was going on, and I told her calmly that I canceled everything 2 months earlier. There was a long silence, then shouting, then disbelief, then bargaining. She said I should have told her. I said she should have told me she didn't want to marry me before asking to date other men. She cried, said people were flying in. Her parents were already on the road. I said she should probably call them. She asked if we could rebook. I said she was welcome to try. She asked how we'd pay for it. I reminded her deposits were gone. She asked if we were broken up. I said yes, absolutely, permanently. She said she didn't mean permanently. I said, intentions don't outrun consequences. Her friends texted me insults. I blocked them. Her parents called to apologize. Told me they supported my decision. Told me they loved me, which was kind but sad. Lauren moved out that weekend. Posted vague quotes about betrayal. I posted a picture of the newly painted living room with a caption, done. Friends understood. Months passed. She texted apologies, asked to try again. I declined politely, not because I hated her, but because I respected myself. And now, 6 months later, I'm seeing someone new. Her name is Emily. She's a public school counselor, drives a Subaru with dents. Thinks my Accord is perfectly fine. We split checks without drama. Talk about books and work and plans that don't require proving anything to anyone. And sometimes I think about Lauren and feel nothing but relief, because being bad once taught me something being nice never did. That boundaries aren't cruelty. They're clarity, and that the right person doesn't need you to become someone else to choose you. They just need you to stay.